Good morning. We're live. Hi, friends. I want to talk to Black women who are interested in liberation work, right? Black women who are working on their own liberation practices, their own ways of freeing themselves from the grip of white supremacist ideology, from the grip of American capitalism, even from the grip of Black excellence. I want to talk to you today about whether or not that's actually possible in the belly of the beast, right? In the birthplace of those things. Or do you need to leave? Spoiler alert, I think you need to leave, and I want to try to convince you of that in the next few minutes. Hi, my name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter, the creator of House Sitter School. I'm the co founder of Exodus Summit. On this channel, we talk about uh, career breaks, sabbaticals. We talk about moving abroad, leaving the country. We talk about bopping around the world as a nomad. All of these things while embracing ease. If this sounds good to you, hit the subscribe button, please. I'll wait for you to do that. Oh, thank you. And then also turn on notifications, ring the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I post a new video or when I go live. Welcome. And welcome, friends in the chat. How's everyone? Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Peace Waters. Good morning, Montine. Good morning, Kicking It with Kim. Good morning, New Life Curator, Pamela, Belinda. Hey, Tori. Hey, Dahlia. Hey, Camille. Friends, so over here we say good morning. Say good morning, okay? If you're here watching this live, say good morning. Even if you're watching on the TV, you can pick up your phone, open up the YouTube, and find this video and say good morning, please. If you're watching the replay, hello, friends in the future. Hope it's awesome. Say hi in the comments. All right, so I'm in my apartment in Bogota, Colombia. I've only lived here for a couple months, but I've been out of the United States since September 21st of 2015. Tomorrow's my 10-year anniversary. 2015, yeah, September 21st, 2015. 10 years tomorrow since I set foot on that plane and left the United States as my home, right? Oh, that's exciting. Tomorrow. Celebrate good times. Come on. And I bopped around the world for 9 3/4 of those years before I decided to move to Bogota, Colombia. I see a lot of women, I follow a lot of women on the Instagram, and there's a lot of work about, oh, I'm protecting my peace. Oh, I'm, working on my own liberation work. And I don't know if you are, if you're in the United States of America. I don't know that you're protecting your peace when you live in a boiling pot, right? We talked the other day on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel about how a lot of Black people in the United States are like a frog in that pot of water where the temperature just gets turned up slowly. And next thing you know, you boiled, you dead. I don't know. I'm a person who I think about things and I make my decision, and I will judge other people. Okay. So I'm going to try my hardest not to be judgmental, because the only rule we really have here is that we have two rules. We say good morning, and we speak to each other with loving kindness. We speak to Black women with loving kindness. But I think it's possible to have loving kindness for someone and still be like, girl, what you doing? And I think those of us who are like, oh, I'm in the United States, I'm a Black person in the United States of America, and I'm just focused on me, right? It's the great lock in, and I'm locked in on me. Are you? Is it possible in that place? I don't think it is, but maybe somebody here can prove me wrong. A problem I've had all month long is I've had a problem with guests. This guest, we scheduled a long time ago. She's not responding to me. I don't know. I don't mean that was not a good way to say it. We have not been able to get in contact with each other since we scheduled a long time ago, this date. So this is a conversation that I was supposed to have with another person. And instead, I guess I'll have it with y'all in the chat. How is it going, right? How is your liberation practice going in that place, in the United States? How's it going deciding that you are going to free yourself from the grip of white supremacist ideology when you go into work and they say, you don't, we're giving your job to a white man, right? Goodbye to you, hello to white man, right? I don't, is it possible? Is it possible if you're working on freeing yourself from the idea of hustle and grind? Is it possible to do that in a place where you show up and they're like, either you save this entire country, you do everything for us, or we totally disregard you. Matter of fact, you might even save the country for us, and we will still totally disregard you, your humanity. Um, is it possible? Is it possible? And I think I think if you've decided that you're a person who's focused on liberation work for yourself or for the community, I don't know how you can stay in that country. Somebody explain it to me. How can you stay in that country and decide that you matter and you are valuable when every day all you're going to get, the only message you're going to get is that you don't matter and you're not valuable, and we would prefer for you to be back in the fields? Thank you. This might be the end of the video. I think you need to be, I don't think there's for Black women in the United States of America, there's no liberation in that place. I think the liberation is in leaving. Because from the very foundation, you were just there to work as a slave. And there's no other outcome, not there. So protecting my peace, friends, when I hear a Black woman in the United States say something like, I'm protecting my peace, I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're absolutely not. No, you're not. You're not even prioritizing your peace, let alone protecting it. When I hear say I'm working on my liberate, no, you're not. No, you're not. I don't think you are. This is me being, I tell you all the time, I'm a judgmental person. You got to tell me otherwise. But no, not there. No, you're not. You're going along to get along, right? You're making do. You're doing, you're carrying the water. You're absolutely not prioritizing yourself. You're not protecting your peace. Not there. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot else to say. Some conversations need two people. I had my tooth pulled yesterday. So, I broke my crown, broke off. My tooth and crown broke off entirely. And so yesterday they extracted the rest of that tooth. I mean, I didn't feel any pain. I didn't feel anything, but the amount of that was hard work. At one point I was like, she gonna have to call in a man to come pull this thing. She is pulling as hard as she can. But anyway, they pulled, and it was just three little pieces. It wasn't even a full tooth she had to pull out. But the pulling, that I had already had a root canal, right? So I felt nothing, and she did a whole bunch of numbing. I felt nothing, but the after effect of all of that pulling and tugging in my mouth means I'm on some pain meds. I'm on some pain meds. So how do you, if I'm right, or if I at least have a point, and if you want to be free, you have to leave that country. Okay. I think if you want to be free, if you're a Black person and you want to be free, you have to leave that country. If I'm right, then how do people do it? Let's see. How do you do it? How does the average person who's not already a multimillionaire from whatever, stocks, investing, real estate, alimony, right? How, or something, or entrepreneurship or whatever. How does the average everyday working person leave the United States of America? I'm glad you asked me that question. I am the co-founder of Exodus Summit. Inside of my community are 26,000 Black women, some of whom have already made their exodus out of the United States or wherever they were and out into the world. Here are the ways that they do that. Here's the ways that they afford to do that if they don't have a pot of cash right now. So for some, it's retirement. Some women in this community still have pensions. Every now and then, somebody will mention her pension, and I'll be like, girl, look at you. Pension, Social Security. There are places in the world where you can live on your Social Security benefits. I understand the average American Social Security check is $1,600 or $1,800 a month. That's a nice living in some parts of the world, right? If you want to go to Ecuador, if you want to go to a lot of Southeast Asia, not Singapore, but a lot of the rest of Southeast Asia, you can have a nice life on your Social Security check or your $1,800 a month. 15, 16, $1,800 a month. There are some videos on YouTube where you can just look that up, right? Make sure they're recent. I did a video years ago on $500 a month Airbnbs, right? I don't know that that still stands. But if someone recently is saying, here's where you can live on $1,500 or $1,800 a month, you can believe that the price is right. You just need to make sure that you agree with with their standard of living, right? You can probably agree that the cost of living is right. You just need to make sure that that standard is accurate. Adelia, who is Picky Girl Travels the World, I think she did that video very recently. She did a $1,500 a month video very recently on her channel. Number one, retirement, right? That is the way women in this community do it. Number two, remote work, right? Find whatever you do or whatever kind of work you do it remotely. I don't mean pretend to be in the United States and trick your employer, because it never works. As soon as they're interested in finding out where you are, they will find out where you are. People in my community say, if your job has an IT department, they are fully capable of telling that you're not in the United States, no matter what VPN you're using. Ain't no VPN strong enough to overcome an IT department. There's not even a VPN strong enough to overcome like Netflix. Sometimes I'll try to watch football. I've kind of given up on the NFL, but the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, and fly Eagles fly. And so every now and then I get, the desire to watch a football game. And the NFL is like, no, I don't care what VPN you're using. I know you're not in America. You're not watching this football game. Thank you. Unless you pay for this whatever package. So VPN doesn't work. Don't do it unless you're okay with getting fired, right? If you want to roll the dice and you're okay with getting fired, do that. But don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Remote work. So retirement. The third way is gig work. There are online gig jobs, just like there are gig jobs in the US, driving for Uber and DoorDash and stuff. There is gig work that Black women do around the world online that gets them enough income to live in some of these places that they're interested in going to. I made a video called 9 Gig Jobs to Leave the United States or something. One of the most popular is tutoring people in English online. There are platforms where you sign up as a tutor, like Cambly. You sign up as an English tutor and you tutor people online and you make $10 or $12 an hour. This is not big money. You're not going to get rich off of this, but what you will do is eat and put a roof over your head in some parts of the world. A lot of women have multiple gig jobs. If that's their route, right? If they don't have a skill set that can make them money any other way, that's a valid and valuable way that people make money. Another is a job in another country. I'm going to mention this here so we can just get over with it. Unless you do something that you know is in demand in that other country, you're probably not going to get a job there, right? Unless you do something that's in demand or you work for an international corporation that will transfer you. You're probably not going to get a job or even want a job in another country because they're going to pay you on a different scale than the United States would pay you. But if you do something in technology, in healthcare, in the sciences, sometimes even in the arts, in education. If you're a teacher or you work in education, you have an opportunity to find actual work in another country. You may need to go through a contractor, like a third party, like a contractor, but there is an availability, right? And then the main way, I think, the most popular way that women in this community do this is they start or continue their own. No, let me add in investing first before I get to the last one. Investing. Investments can give you dividends, right? Investments can make you a profit, whether that investment is real estate or the stock market or investing in some business, investing in, what else could people invest in? Anybody invest in anything other than those things? Okay, the investments are a way that people live around the world. Okay, the final way, which is usually, I would say, the most popular way, is Black women in this community find a thing that they can do online for money for themselves, right? Doing their own, having their own business where they make money online. I am on YouTube. There's my YouTube plaque. The sun reflect. This whole wall is a window, so you can't. Maybe you can tell it's a YouTube plaque. Maybe you can't. Okay. I am a talker on YouTube, right? I coach people on house sitting. I coach people on growing their own YouTube channel. And through the Exodus Summit community and business, I coach people on moving abroad and taking sabbaticals. That is how I make my money, without a traditional job, with my meager skill set. My skill set is I like to talk and I know how to house sit. That skill set has taken me around the world, right? Being able to introduce Black women to house sitting and sell my own digital products, sell my own online memberships. Those things have taken me around the world. Okay. So that's the main list. That is how in my head, I refer to myself lovingly as a dum-dum, right? There's a trainer online. He'd be like, do you know? And he'll be like, if you believe that you need to do X, Y, Z to be healthy, you are a dum-dum, right? And so I'll be like, well, I am a dum-dum. As a dum-dum, as a person with a general skill set that other people would say is not valuable or viable out in the world, I make enough money to live in a nice apartment in Bogota, right? Those are the answers. There's not a lot of, I don't know a lot of Black women who don't have something that wouldn't take them around the world, right? Some skill set that wouldn't either take them around the world or just take them to a moderately priced city or town or village or beach somewhere in the world where they could have a good life. I'm not saying that everyone who starts coaching or consulting or freelancing is making enough money to do that, but I think you could. I think any Black woman I know could make enough money through coaching or consulting or freelancing or YouTubing. She could make enough money to live her life. It takes some things. It takes some support, right? It takes some know-how, some coaching. It takes some time. It takes some clients, and it takes the ability to know how to get clients. It takes some stuff, but it's not impossible. I was a hospital pharmacy technician. September, this time 10 years ago, I wasn't still working. I think I took a couple of days off before I got on the flight. So, but basically this day, 10 years ago, I was still a hospital pharmacy technician and I made $22 an hour. My job was to sit inside of a sterile IV lab, and shoot drugs into IV bags in the hospital for hospital patients. That was not something that I could take around the world with me. So when I quit with some savings and with the idea that I was going to go back to work once I ran out of savings. And that lasted me for a year. $14,400 lasted me for a year. So I had to, when I decided I didn't want to go back to work anymore, I had to figure out what other skills I had. I didn't think that pharmacy technician was a skill set that I could do online. Now, turns out it was. The insurance companies do hire pharmacy technicians. I didn't know all of that. I didn't know. I never knew any of all the pharmacy techs I knew. I never knew anyone who worked online. Everybody I knew went to work. So, so I had to figure out the other skill set. So I became a virtual assistant. I started house sitting to lower my expenses. House sitting for me has never been a real money maker. I've made maybe $2,000 total house sitting in 8 years, 7 years, right? It's never been a major money maker for me because most of my house sits are unpaid. But what that means is I get a free place to stay for months and months and months and months at a time. And so I could afford to be a freelancer, right? Be a virtual assistant while I'm still learning how to get clients and be fine because I didn't have rent to pay on top of having to eat. And I don't know a Black woman who couldn't do something like that, right? You just need to know what other people are doing. You just need to see examples of how other people are leaving the country, how other people are living in a new place, how other people are traveling full time. You just need to see examples of it for it to become a possibility for you to start thinking that way yourself. We think a certain way. Black excellence in the United States has taught us to think very linear and very boxed in. There's only one way to live. At least there's only one way to live and be respected, right? And that way is to keep striving, more degrees, more promotions, more work, more stress. That's the only way to live, according to Black excellence and according to hustle culture and the United States and capitalism and all of that, and the patriarchy and everything. But you can also opt out of those things and you can just decide that you want to do what makes you happy. And you don't need other people's approval to be a happy person. You can decide that liberation is real work, that liberation is real effort, and there's no liberation in valuing other people's opinions. That's absolutely not liberation. If you need to be viewed as anything, no matter what that thing is, if you need to be viewed as important, if you need to be viewed as intelligent, if you need to be viewed as special, it means you don't see yourself that way, and there's no liberation there. You're always going to be in bondage to what other people say or think or do, how other people treat you. But there is so much freedom in being Stephanie the house sitter with no real responsibilities. Also, I had no money, right? When I started house sitting, there was absolute freedom in that, in not caring what other people say, in being a house sitter and having my former coworkers or whatever be like, what is going on with her? Freedom, liberation. You don't know what kind of things you don't know who you could be until you stop worrying about what other people want you to be. So now, 10 years later, instead of being a person who is always striving, which I was never really going to do, but let's pretend, because but instead of being a person who, or let's say this, instead of being a person who is always aware of other people's opinions of me and aware that other people thought, oh, she could do so much better, she could be so much more, right? Instead of feeling negatively about that, which I did, one of the things that kept me in my little sad spiral was knowing that people thought that I was underperforming, right? Stephanie, the pharmacy technician, was underperforming. I was aware of that, even though it didn't necessarily govern my actions. I was aware of it, and it was one of the things that kept me in my sad state. Of one of many, many things, was not the most thing. It was one of many things, right? But instead of that, I now get to be, I first became a person who was like, what do I want? And how do I get that? I want to be on a hammock on a beach. I don't think I have beach hammock all day money. So what other way can I get that? It became house sitting and virtual assistant work. Those things led me to being the co-founder of an amazing community. The impact that I've had on this world is immeasurable. I know that. Listen, you don't have to, I mean, people do tell me things when they meet me in person. They'll be like, you changed my family's life. I know that. I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. But this would never be that Exodus Summit, the event, the community would not be if I had continued to say, I don't want other people to look down on me. Because you don't become a house sitter when you need other people's approval. You don't even become a YouTuber, because starting on YouTube when nobody's watching is intimidating, or it's not intimidating. It's embarrassing to some people. I don't happen to get embarrassed about that kind of thing. As y'all know, I've told you all of my life, all of the embarrassing things that other people would not tell you. I've told you most of those things. I just told you about them pulling my teeth out. So, though these things don't happen. These things don't happen when you need other people to approve of you. Okay. Now back to talking about liberation and leaving. These things don't happen if you stay in the struggle. These things don't happen if you decide that you are going to commit your life to trying to help white people be better people, instead of saying, I'm going to make Stephanie the best person. If you've committed your life to the struggle of the United States of America, a damned place, rightfully damned because of the actions that they took. They took those actions. They stole that land. They massacred them people. They enslaved our people, right? If you decide that your purpose, your work is to help them, is to be on their side. I don't care what you say. If your work is to improve them, to make them better people, you're on their side. If you decide that your work is to be on their side, there's no liberation for you. What's that saying? If you're in, you're not special, you're next. If you're like I don't even want to say, like the Kim and Kanye, like she knew he was bad to his exes. She knew he talked crazy to people when he got upset with them. She knew he treated people crazy. She knew he was vindictive, but she thought she was special, but she's not special. She's next. Right? She was not special. She was next. You're not special. You're next. You can rise in the ranks of whatever the thing is that you're doing. But when you see them take 350,000 jobs away from Black women and give them to white men, and you stay on your job, you're not special. You're next. When you see them removing people from office, legally or illegally, you're not, and you stay, you're not special. You're next. When you see them incarcerating people and putting them to work in the fields, you're not special. You're next. There's no liberation in trying to help white people be better people. Not those people. Not those people. So, what do you do if you do truly want liberation for you and your family and Black people? You get your exit strategy together and you go someplace where y'all can live a liberated life. What does a liberated life look like to you? And how can you live that? Some of you, just all you really want to do in your life is grow vegetables and fruits. Get up in the morning, pick them, make a little tea. That's all you want in your life. You can have that, right? Some of you, all you want to do is get up and write music and perform music. That's all you want. Write a book, put the book out in the world, write the next book. But you think you can't have that because you need to you need to help white people be better people. Those people are irredeemable. I think they're irredeemable. There are different groups of white people in the United States, right? And I talked about this before. In Delaware, we had Quakers in Delaware. You know, there are some people with decent genetics, but there are some white people who have terrible genetics. They got Nazis on one side, they got slaveholders on another side. There's no hope. And so the liberation for you and for your family is in leaving. What are some questions that I can answer today about leaving? Thank you very much for the super sticker. Annabella, look at me acting brand new. Looking at the super chats this early, look at me. Thank you very much for that. Good morning. Mayday, save at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses in your destination currency, pay off or minimize debt in the US, open a bank account that works internationally. Thank you, Mayday. I think there are people who would not feel comfortable with, you need to know, based on your money story, right? You need to know how many months of living expenses you would like to have to go someplace, right? How many months of living expenses would you need? Now, if you have income already, online or remote or whatever, or investment income or whatever, that number might be smaller for you. You may need a smaller cushion. If you're just starting your money making thing, right? Let's say for you, it is freelancing and you're just starting freelancing and you don't have a steady stream of clients, then you may want a larger cushion, right? But yeah, you need a cushion and you need, in some countries, you can open a bank account in another country without residency. In most countries, as far as I know, you cannot. So that may be not at the top of the list. The opening a bank account that works internationally for me means USAA, right? It's an American bank, but it means I can pull my money out of ATMs all over the world without any transaction fees. It may just mean that in the beginning. At some point, you're probably going to want to open a non-US bank and have a decent amount of money in a non-US bank as well. What questions? How do you keep your phone number? So nowadays with dual SIM phones, this is less of a problem. I have my US SIM card is Google Fi. I'm not recommending them as some great service. It's been worse and worse. The Google Fi has gotten worse and worse over the last however many years I've been with them. But I have a Google Fi SIM card, which is my US phone number. And then I have a Movistar SIM card, which is my Colombia phone number. Dual SIM phones make it pretty easy nowadays. You don't have to deal with that too much. Make sure that you're paying the least in the US. If it means getting a Boost mobile phone number in the United States, do that, right? Pay the least. You should not be paying a $100 phone bill in the US when you're out in the world somewhere else just to keep your US phone number. So get the least, the lowest, the cheapest, the cheapest way that you can have a US phone number. And then when you get to the country you're going to, you get the SIM card there. My Colombia, they text me all the time, so I can tell you what my bill is. They text, they're always like, and now we're offering something. I'm like, leave me alone. I don't need all of that. All right, so they just sent me a text that says free TikTok and Instagram, right? So in some places, the SIM card, the data that you use on your SIM card, some apps don't count towards that data. So Movistar has a plan where TikTok and Instagram are free. They don't count towards my data. For 18,500 pesos, I get 3 times the data. So I already have 50. Let me tell you, I have 50 gigs of data per month. Let me see. And it said for how many pesos? This may not be an interesting conversation. 18,500 Colombian pesos is $4.77. I get 3 times more data. I don't know if they mean that, because that would be 150 gigs of data for $3. 3 times. They may not mean that when they say that. May not be what they're saying. 3x datos. I don't know. I I believe I pay about $20 per month for 50 gigs of data. I wrote it down somewhere. I don't know. I believe I pay about $20 a month for 50 gigs. 50 gigs of data is a lot. 50 gigs of data means here in my house, if my house Wi-Fi doesn't reach my office, I can do all of my work on my computer for days using my phone as a hotspot. Movistar, it probably is the same company, but things don't carry over. So like there's Claro and Movistar here. It's probably the same umbrella corporation, but from country to country, they're different. There are also international eSIMs. I don't know who's good and who's not good. And I don't know if international means like truly international or is it just regional, but there are also international eSIM cards. Annette Brooks, leave until what? Leave. Okay, let's talk about this. So I don't think Rashid and I got interviewed yesterday, and we talked about this in the interview. I don't think the plan should be leave for a while and plan to come back to the United States. I think the plan should be leave and go somewhere and live there or bop around the world. But it should, I don't know. I don't think leave as a temporary holding pattern is, I don't think that's, I don't know. For some people, that might be a decent plan, but I don't think that should be the plan because how do you know when it's safe to come back? When is it going to be safe to come back? What's happening to so-called Black? Oh, I should never put this on the screen. What are so-called Black people? Go away, Annette. Go away. Go away. What are so-called Black people? But I do want to say that there are some of you who would do better to leave, even if you think it's temporary, right? And then let the goodness of other places envelop you, sweep over you, flow through you, and then you won't want to come back. It's okay if you think your exit is temporary. That's okay. I don't understand what that was. So-called Black people. I don't understand that comment. Go away, Annette. Go away. But if you think I just need some time and I need to leave, go ahead and make your exit. You don't have to plan to leave permanently for it to become a permanent move. Okay. If it's temporary in your mind, go ahead and let it be temporary and let the good experiences that you have around the world help you decide that you don't want to come back. You don't want to go back. We don't owe this country anything, or that country. You don't owe the United States of America anything. The only reason you're tied to the United States of America for most of you is that your people were chained and put on a ship, under a ship, transported to the Caribbean and then the United States to work as slaves. You don't owe that country anything. I really don't understand that concept of you don't owe that country anything. I know there are Black people in the United States who are not connected to enslavement, right? Your people came from Ghana to the last generation. Your parents just flew there, right? Your people came on an airplane, okay? My people came under the boat. I don't owe that country anything. I don't owe them anything. You don't owe them anything. Can you imagine? You don't even expect workers to be that loyal, let alone enslaved people. Can you imagine paying someone, not enslaving someone? Can you imagine paying someone to build a swimming pool for you in the backyard, right? And then expecting that person to also come and do maintenance on the swimming pool, clean the pool. Fires coming, can you fill up the pool so we can, whatever people do when wildfires come and whatever they do to their swimming pools, right? No, I don't owe you anything. We're not even that. Like, we're not even former workers. Right? We're not even the descendants of former workers because our people were enslaved. You don't owe that country anything. Find someplace else. Put your family someplace else. Enjoy someplace else. Ingrain yourself and ingratiate yourself someplace else. Get in community someplace else. You don't owe that country anything. Your people were chained and put under a boat and transported thousands of miles, whipped and chained and whipped and chained, so that that country could become the most economically and politically powerful country in the world without paying you a nickel. And you think you owe them a thing? You're not tethered to that country. You don't owe them anything. I showed a picture of my grandmother, my dad's mother. It's obvious in that picture. I showed a picture on my somewhere. Not on Instagram, here, somewhere in my post or something. It's obvious that that woman is not all a Black woman, right? She's got some ties to the United States that I don't have, right? There was something, right? They're Nanacoke. Some of my dad's people are Nanacoke Indians. Even I don't feel tied to that country. You don't owe that country anything. Your people were brought there as slaves. You don't owe them anything. There's no other place where we do that, where we think of the enslaved people as owing them a debt. In Dubai or in the Middle East, a lot of people come from all over Asia and Africa as workers, but they're kind of enslaved, right? Some people's employers might take their passports so they can't leave. You would never say, now you got to help build the country, help make it better. No, you would say, oh, girl, you got your passport? Time to go. You got your passport? You may not want to go back to the Philippines. You can go somewhere else, right? We may not want to go back to West Africa. We can go somewhere else. You can go to West Africa if you'd like. People in this community love it. Tiffany, my friend Tiffany, runs trips to Ghana. People love them some Ghana. Oh, Katrina fell in love with Ghana, right? My friend. You don't owe this country anything. What? If I don't feel like I owe anything to this country, why do you or that country? You don't owe them. Your people were chained. Have you ever been? Maybe some of you have never seen what? No, everybody's seen Roots. Everybody's seen Roots. What? Why? What is the tie? What is the attachment? What did you get? What are you getting from saying we need to stay in the United States? What is the benefit? Kemi says Stockholm Syndrome. Hey, Kemi. All right. We talked earlier about money, and I didn't do something that I should have done, which is tell you about Exodus Summit 2025. When I ran through my list of ways that women inside of this community make money, I also should have told you that we help you start those things, right? So it's one thing for me to be like, yeah, you can be a freelancer, you can be a virtual assistant, you can be a teacher, you can teach abroad, you can use investments and trading to get money to live. It's one thing for me to tell you that. It's another thing for me to bring in Black women to teach you how to do those things. That's exactly what Exodus Summit does. Exodus Summit is an online conference that happens October 10th through 13th. Black women who make money doing these things come in and teach you how to make money doing these things. They don't just come and say, you should be a freelancer, right? You should trade stocks and invest. You should do this. They say, here's how you do it, okay? Pull out your notebooks. First thing, do this. Don't do that. Next, do this. Avoid this problem. Look out for that. Here's how you make your first dollars doing those things. Exodus Summit is online October 10th through 13th, and tickets are at exodussummit.com. Let me look. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of people registered. 1,300 women, 1,300 Black women already are registered for, 1,400 women. Let me refresh my screen. I made the 1,000 women registered graphic, and by the time I made the graphic, we were at 1,200, and I was like, well, let me just wait for 1,500. Let me tell you what sessions the women in our community so far seem the most excited about, because these sessions are probably sessions that are also going to be the most exciting to you, okay? Adelia Abor-Shade is teaching a session called Put Your Money to Work. I should also tell you that these are not all, we don't have all of the sessions on the website yet. There are some sessions you're going to be very excited about that we have not yet announced, okay? Adelia Abor-Shade's session, Put Your Money to Work, right? This is how to make money from your money, which is such a rich feeling, right? Being able to say, oh, I remember years ago, it was The Cosby Show years ago, when Vanessa was talking about, we're rich. And she was like, well, we work for our money. Rich is where your money works for you, right? Adelia Abor-Shade, who is Picky Girl Travels the World, who you know is a phenomenal, who is a good teacher. I'm trying to use words that new people won't think are, exaggerated, right? If you're new, let me just tell you, she's a good teacher and she knows money, okay? You decide if she's phenomenal. You will, okay? When the session is over, you will say that. But let me tell you, she's a good teacher and she knows money and she knows how to teach money to Black people. To Black women. Adelia Abor-Shade's session is Put Your Money to Work. Shakira's session is on full-time pay, working part of the year. Full-time pay, working part of the year. Some of you may know a contractor or two who works a few months out of the year and makes enough money to live the rest of the year, right? Whether the rest of the year is in their home or abroad. So Kira's session on full-time pay, working part of the year, is also one that people are excited about. Terry Ijioma's session on gaining financial independence through trading. Trading, as I understand it, is buying and selling for a profit, right? Where we not normally, but a lot of people invest, they put money in an account and they let it sit there. And hopefully when you go back to that account, there's more money than you started with, right? Trading instead is buying and selling stocks so as to make a profit. There are women in our community today who that's how they live. That's how they have enough money for rent and groceries and health insurance. They wake up in the morning, make trades, buy low, sell high. That's all and now they've got enough money for the day or the week and they go on about their business, right? Trading with Terry Ijeoma, and simple certifications to get remote work with Coach VetJet. If you are looking for remote work and you want to make sure that you are more, that you stand out in the job market, Coach VetJet is going to teach us some certifications. We're not talking about certifications that take you a year. We're talking certifications that take you a few days, a few weeks, okay? And anything else that I should say? Arlen Hamilton is teaching a session on money from memberships and community. Arlen Hamilton is an investor, but she teaches investing through and other things through memberships and communities, and that's a money maker for her, right? Whatever your thing is, like I told you earlier, I'm a house sitter and I have communities and memberships. And those things make money. Your thing that you are interested in, or that you know, or that you teach, or that you want to form community around, that you want to facilitate conversations around, memberships and communities are a way that people, Black women, are making money to live their lives. ExodusSummit.com is where you get your ticket to Exodus Summit 2025. And like I said, we have some new sessions, but I think we'll just wait. Let me look at my list. Is there any that I'm allowed to, let's see, is there any session that I'm going to announce? I don't think that there are more sessions coming, and there are more sessions than that on the website. This is the 6th year that we've hosted Exodus Summit. There are some women in this chat right now who have been to 4, 5, 6 Exodus Summits, right? So what we do in Exodus Summit is we make sure that if a session is for you, it's worth the full ticket price. If any session that's for you, you should be able to register for Exodus Summit knowing I'm going to get my money's worth, even if it's just one session. So on the go, JoJo, hey, what sessions are included with the All Access Pass or the Accelerated Pass? Every session that you see on the website today is available for the Weekend Pass, the All Access Pass, and the Accelerator Pass. Now, we just added a workshop, a country matchmaking workshop for the All Access and Accelerated Pass only, right? The Weekend Pass doesn't get bonus workshops. So you'll see when you look at the list, when you go to ExodusSummit.com, all of the sessions, everything that happens October 10th through 13th, everything that happens, every session that happens October 10th through 13th, every ticket has access to, okay? Now, All Access Pass and Accelerator Pass also get access to, what do we call them? Salons, like breakout rooms. Those are not sessions with speakers. Any session with a speaker, all tickets have access to. The difference right now between the Weekend Pass and the All Access Pass, Weekend Pass has replays, gets all of the sessions, regular sessions with speakers, also gets replays of those sessions through October of this year. Whereas the All Access Pass gets replays through September of 2026, almost a full year of replays. And we just added a bonus workshop. The All Access Pass gets that country matchmaking bonus workshop that's happening in November. And then the All Access Pass will also get salons. Our platform is working on something, so they may or may not be Zoom salons. Maybe on Zoom, maybe on our platform that we're on. Okay. Those are the difference. $89 is, it's not $89 anymore. Okay. Prices went up. Prices will continue to go up. Prices go up again October 9th. $89 Weekend Pass. You get access to all of the sessions that you see, all of the sessions with the speakers that you see listed out, plus whatever we add on, all of those sessions. And you get the replays of those sessions through October. What you don't get is any bonus sessions, bonus workshops that happen after the summit. You don't get those, okay? We may be announcing another bonus workshop soon too. But the first bonus workshop is a country matchmaking workshop that happens in November. Okay? Okay. Thanks, Arlene. Arlene's got you. Okay. Everything except the bonus sessions and also the Zoom. If we do a Zoom breakout room or a salon, that also. And you can upgrade. Yes, you can. Check your inbox. I think everyone automatically gets an email with, when you purchase the Weekend Pass, you automatically get an email with the subject line, how to upgrade. Or you can just go to ExodusSummit.com, click on your little face in the corner. You may have to log back in. Click on your face in the corner. One of the drop-down options should be about your ticket and how to upgrade your ticket if you can't find the email. Okay. So I know that there are people who feel left out of the Move Abroad conversation because of money. Okay. Exodus Summit does what we can to make sure that that's not the case. Money should not be the reason you don't live your dreams. Money should not be the reason you don't leave an unsafe environment. I want to say one more time, if you see a session listed at exodussummit.com that is interesting to you, it's worth the ticket price. Okay. It's worth the ticket price. Yeah, prices went up. Early bird pricing has ended. Early bird pricing is over. We're now in regular pricing, and then we'll be in later pricing October 9th. Okay, don't miss it. If you miss the early bird, $89 is gone. Yeah, if you miss the early bird, okay, we had 3 weeks of early bird pricing. 3 weeks. We had 3 weeks of early bird pricing. If you missed the early bird pricing, don't play yourself and miss this price, because the prices go up another step. October 9th is the last day. I think the price goes up on the 10th. So October 9th is the last day. Don't play yourself, okay? Don't miss out. But you can upgrade. So if you've purchased your ticket today, if you purchase the weekend pass, and then later on you decide that you want to come to the bonus workshops, you want to come to the salons, you want 1 year of replays, you can upgrade to the all access pass. Okay. You can do that, and you'll apply. Everyone has a coupon. Whatever you paid for your ticket, you have a coupon for that amount. Okay. All right. Oh, the plant plan. Good morning. I'm late. Just booked a sweet house sit. Excited for Exodus Summit. Congratulations. Where's your house sit? Congratulations. House sitting is my specialty. Okay. But it's not, it is a session I'm doing in Exodus Summit, but it's going to be pre-recorded. So I'm going to do a pre-recorded session in Exodus Summit on house sitting. Okay. Welcome, Travel Grace. Welcome. Block off if you're in the US on US time zones, okay, block off Friday evening through Monday evening. Block off that whole weekend. It's Indigenous Peoples Weekend or Columbus Day weekend. You want to be locked in, okay? You don't want to have distractions. You don't want people bothering you. You don't want meetings. You don't want work. Take that time off. When women come to Exodus Summit and execute what they learned in Exodus Summit, they make their exodus, right? So you probably see in the chat, anytime you come to my channel, Rashida's channel, the Exodus Summit channel, you see women talking about, hey, I'm in. Yesterday, Evelyn Golden, who I met in Panama. Evelyn Golden, who I met in Panama City, Panama, is now in Cote d'Ivoire in the Ivory Coast, right? Women who come to, actually, I don't know. Evelyn may have already been gone when she got into the community, but I'm not sure. I think we get the credit for that. Women who come to Exodus Summit make their exodus. We can't go because we're males. Okay. And support you so much. But guess what? My husband convinced his coworker to buy a ticket and join. Thank you. Thank you for that. We appreciate you. Thank you for sharing. There are not a lot of places where Black women just get to be with Black women. We're going to keep Exodus Summit just for Black women, although we are well aware that there are men in this community, and there are men in the chat. There are men who watch our channels, and there are men who, participate from the outside. We appreciate that. In some places, people always want to try to bust in and make it their place as well. I believe make your own, right? So remember how the over 60 crowd was like, but what about the over 60s? Even though what I was talking applied to the over 60 women, they were like, well, what about the over 60s? And they made a new community, the 60 plus Black women expats, right? There is a need for men in the move abroad, in the leaving the United States community in conversation. But I appreciate the way men engage in this community from their place, right? I appreciate that. And I appreciate the way that you share with other Black women. So thank you very much for that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there are men here. Any other men, if you're feeling brave, we won't We won't do anything. You're welcome to say good morning. Okay. Say hello in the chat. Let us know where you are. There are men in this conversation, some who are partnered with women in the Exodus Summit community, and some who are not. Some who are just like, listen, this is helpful stuff. I like what y'all be talking. I'm here. Okay. Can I tell you what countries are welcoming for Black women? I think if you live in the United States, it's hard to find a country that's less welcoming. Okay, so let's start there. Let's start off with it's hard to find a country where you're going to feel like, oh, this feels like the United States. I would say Australia is a place where I was like, oh, this feels like the United States. It's also, nice. It's a nice place. It's beautiful. It's just, the people are not good. Rashida and I just made a video called Best Countries for Black Families. I would look at that list. My list, however, okay, I would say Mexico and Costa Rica. I'm in Colombia now, so I'm gonna add Colombia to the list because, girl, sometimes I'll be like, do they think I'm a famous person? Sometimes I walk places, they be so happy to see me. Sometimes they don't care. But other times they be like, oh, hi. And I'm like, I need to look at Colombian movie stars and musicians and see if maybe I look like one of them. Who do they think I am? Okay, but basically this means Mexico, Central America, and Latin America, okay? The Caribbean, of course, especially straight Black women. If you're a queer Black woman, the Caribbean may be more hostile, especially if you are, I don't know. I think if you're a queer partnership or relationship in the Caribbean, it might be harder. But if not, the Caribbean. I am a fan. I love the way women in our community love their lives in East Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda. The women in this community love them some Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda. They seem to love their lives there. Of course, Portugal and Spain. Spain can be hit or miss. You can find some racism in this, and you open. There's racism everywhere, but you can find some hostilities in Spain. But if you get in the right town, the right city, Spain, but also Portugal. I think Portugal has a better reputation for now than Spain. And then let's go to Southeast Asia. Okay, let's go to Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Singapore, if you got the coins, if you can afford it, right? Southeast Asia. That's where. Those are countries that are welcoming for Black women, more welcoming than you're used to. Okay, if you're in America. Yeah, Spain, you get the wrong city, wrong time, it can be terrible. Right city, right time, you'll love it, right? So that's why I put that big asterisk on Spain. There are women in our community who love their lives in Spain. I think it's just a location and timing thing. I think Portugal has a better success rate, is what I'll say. For Black women, Portugal has a better success rate than Spain. Italy, same, right? Hit or miss. Italy is hit or miss. You're going to love it or hate it, right? Either they're going to treat you fine or they're going to treat you bad. Hit or miss in Italy. But that's it, okay? Yeah, Caribbean, don't overlook the Caribbean. It can be very expensive, okay? But it also can be less expensive than you would expect once you're in a regular, house and not a vacation villa. Barbados and Grenada and Curacao, I think, are three of the places where women in our community seem to like it. Belize. So what are we calling Belize? It's not Caribbean. What do we call Belize here? Because of Aisha and Many, I'm trying to be less of a Belize. I'm not a Belize hater. I'm a Belize skeptic. I'm trying to be less of a Belize skeptic because of Many and Aisha. Because they've explained to me that they like it, that they really do like it. So is Belize Central America or is it Caribbean? Because it's on the Caribbean water, but it's hooked to Mexico, which is North America. Mexico is North America. one of my little pet peeves. My pet peeves: don't call Mexico South America or Central America. It's Mexico is North America. Also, don't call the people Mayan. They're Maya people. They're not Mayan. They're Maya. It makes me angry. So angry. Mexico is North America. Those people are Maya. They're not Mayan. They're Maya. Their language is Maya. The people are Maya. The temples are Maya. Adelia says Belize technically is located in Central America, but culturally, Belize probably has more in common with the Caribbean. Okay, listen, I'm gonna call Belize Caribbean. Okay, after just saying don't call Mexico Central America, that makes me mad. I'm gonna call Belize Caribbean and add it to the list of places that are affordable Caribbean. Can be places that can be affordable Caribbean. Money is relative. I don't know what affordable is to you. But I know Curacao, Grenada, Belize, and Barbados, believe it or not, are places where women in this community have really enjoyed, and not on budgets of $10,000 a month to live, you know? Okay. Yeah, Melissa says they do participate in the Caribbean parade in Brooklyn. Okay. Okay, proof. Okay, I'm gonna put Belize in the Caribbean category for this purpose, for the purpose of naming Caribbean countries where you may find the cost of living suitable. Okay, thank you. Please and thank you. Okay. I feel like we were on a track and then I just derailed us, but I can't remember what we were doing. So just ask me questions. Listen, you know, I believe I am hilarious. I'm a comedian. I tell my parents that all the time. I'm like, y'all don't even know. I am hilarious. They just be looking at me. Oh, I was asking the men in the chat, any men in the chat brave enough to say hi. And I did see Action VJ, but it was a while ago and I missed it. Good afternoon, buenas tardes. Buenas, you're in Portugal. So that would be boa tarde. Boa tarde. Sharon V says Google also confirms Belize is considered Caribbean because of the culture. Yeah, so we'll put that on the list. That was a solid list. Any place I missed? When I say Mexico and Costa Rica and Colombia and Panama, just make it most of Central and South America. You can probably skip Argentina, right? You can skip Argentina as a Black person. You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like the people. You might like the country, but you're not gonna like the people in Argentina. But a lot of the other places, sure. Okay. Yeah, I know Barbados is expensive, but I do know there's a community, an expat, black expat community in Barbados, and they're just living on regular people money, right? You can find I think you can find a $1,500 a month home in Barbados, which would be surprising to some people. I think you can find a $1,500 a month home in Barbados. And so Peru, an enthusiastic Peru from Erica De Niro TV, enthusiastic. Okay. I think Anita, who's the global granny, I think Anita's in Peru right now. So we're listen, when we say Latin America, we mean Latin America. All right. But except for Argentina. Latin America, you're probably going to like it. Yeah, so I know I named some places, but Latin America, the Caribbean, places where Black women feel welcomed. Latin America, the Caribbean, East Africa in particular. When you're a Black American person and you go to West Africa, you may find people a little different than you expect. Because we were shipped here from West Africa, we sometimes have an idea that going to West Africa is going to feel like going home. For some people, it is. It does feel like that. For others, it feels very grabby, cash grabby, right? However, East Africa, they don't really care about. They don't see us the same way. That's been my experience. That's been my understanding of having this YouTube channel and talking to Black women for 6 years. My understanding is they feel more Welcomed isn't the word because they feel welcomed in West Africa too, but they feel less standouty, I guess. You always stand out as an American, but they feel less, there's less cash grabbiness, I guess, East Africa compared to West Africa. So Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, okay? Anyone teaching remote work. In Exodus Summit, we have, I believe I can say, we have a session on, I think I can say this. We have a session that's not on listed. We have a session on using LinkedIn to find remote work. Okay, that should be listed soon. I don't think the contract is signed. So if you want to hold off and buy your ticket, give us 3-4 days. Make sure you see that session listed before you, if that's the session that you're getting your ticket for. Okay, using LinkedIn to find remote work, and then the certifications and simple certifications to help you find remote work. Those are the 2 remote work sessions in Exodus Summit 2025. Certifications is happening. The LinkedIn is happening, but it's not contract. I don't think the contract is signed yet. Okay, so if you want to come to Exodus Summit for those 2 sessions, that's the information. You'll see if you refresh your screen in a day or 2, you should see it. Kenya's on the list. Rashida, yeah. So I've never talked to a Black woman who's like, Now what you'll find, Elle, who is Empress of Ease here on YouTube and is in this community, what you may find that even though life is good in East Africa, you may find you're not necessarily friends with local people, especially if you're a single woman. Everybody there going to be married. All the women you meet are going to be married, and they may or may not want to be friends with a single woman. That may be a cultural difference. Your friends may be other people, other immigrants, other expats, other people who have moved there. But the people there don't have the same reputation that they may have in West Africa for only viewing you as American dollar signs, right? Around the world, people can spot an American and they know you got them American dollars, and people may treat you that way. And East Africa has less, this is me hearing, okay? Because we're supposed to go to Kenya next year, and then we were not going to Kenya next year. So I don't know for sure, but this is what I hear with all of the conversations that I have on this community. Hi, Annabella. When I bop around, do I go back and forth to the US for a visa? I don't need a tourist visa in most of the places. The only places I've ever applied for a tourist visa to visit, I could do it online. So I've never had to go back to the United States, go to the consulate, apply for a visa, and then go to another country. I've never had to do that. The US passport for now is still powerful. For Vietnam, I applied for the visa online. I think Vietnam and Australia. I feel like those are the only 2 times. Some places you have to fill out a little paperwork or whatever once you're on the plane. But those are the only 2 times I've had to get a visa, and they were both online. It's been very easy. With the US passport, it's been very easy to bop around the world. Take advantage of it while you can. Like, I mean that, seriously. No. Yes, TJ, African countries, very strict anti-gay laws. Very important thing to know. We just did that video on countries for Black families, best countries for Black families on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel. And Rashida gave a solid disclaimer. Here's why we have a separate category for queer families, right? Because we talking about go to Kenya, you get a nanny, you can have a nanny and a driver and a housekeeper, and life can be really good for you on a regular person's budget, on a regular American budget, but not if you're gay, right? So solid disclaimers. That is why we can't only talk about Black countries. It's one of the reasons. Also, because I don't want to only talk about Black countries, but we cannot talk about only moving to Black countries because it's not safe for a good portion of our community. Not in the Caribbean, not in Africa, right? Real talk. Okay. Plan. I've always wanted to check out Mauritius. I would say visit for yourself if you can. Sierra, expat Sierra, just did a talk inside of the Exodus ASAP membership not too long ago about Mauritius. She's still there. She's been there for since the pandemic, 4 or 5 years, right? She's still there. I would not count it out if you want to experience it for yourself. The people who are like, oh, they're not friendly, they have been there. You know what I mean? So you want to create your experience by having been there. You want to make your experience by having been there. I found the people in Mauritius to not be friendly, but I was there for weeks, not months, right? Am I fluent? Absolutely not. Hablo español, pero necesito traducir mucho. Y mucho, en muchas conversaciones con personas en Bogotá, yo dice, ¿huh? No entiendo. Mucho. My dentist appointment yesterday. We do the dentist appointment in Spanish, right? I can figure out most of what she's saying, but every now and then I'll be like, no entiendo. And then I just zone out. She was trying to tell me she done pulled my tooth. We're sitting at the desk now after the appointment, and she's trying to tell me what to eat and what not to eat, what to do and what not to do. And I was like, I don't understand this. I understood no rice. She told me think no small things like rice, because they pulled the rest of the tooth out and then they sutured it. I've got sutures in here. And you want it to clot. What I wasn't understanding is she was stressing how important it is to allow this to clot and not to don't spit, don't use a straw, don't aggravate that area. Let it clot, leave it alone. So I understood the no rice and I understood the soft foods. But something else, I was like, I don't know that. I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm sure I'll be fine. And when I was in the chair, they were telling me to tilt my head more, and I didn't understand it. So they were just like, they just tilted my head, right? It's pretty simple. Open and close, I understand. Open more, open bigger. She would sometimes say, open bigger. Okay, close a little bit. Right? She's doing all this and this too. But at one point they wanted me to tilt my head and I was like, no entiendo. And they were just like, oh, that means tilt. Now I don't remember what it was. That means tilt. No, I'm not fluent in Spanish. Not even conversational in Spanish. I have the Spanish skills. I had a conversation with a 5-year-old in a restaurant, and three different times I had to ask her mom, what is she saying? That means I don't even have the Spanish skills of a 5-year-old child, and I can live my life in the city. I'm learning as I go. I'm not taking any formal education right now. At some point, I may take lessons and get a tutor. My plan mostly is just to get some friends and get some kids, and they'll teach me. That's my plan. But you can live in the United States. People are very rude to you if you don't speak English, and life is harder. But in these other places, they're much more patient than we're used to, much more patient than we are in the US. So it hasn't been that hard. Like I said, my whole dentist appointment, she said the first time I visited her, she stopped and she said one thing in English because it was important, but I don't remember what it was. Right? We talked about the roots. I know rices now, right? I know dental words now because we talked about them, and in conversation, I put things together. Do most countries abroad require rent in advance, yearly or month to month? What about international real estate and means of residency? Real estate and buying real estate abroad can be a way to get residency in another country. It can be. It is here in Colombia, and I think it's only about $120,000 will get you residency in Colombia. I think. Don't quote me. I'll just be making up numbers. I just go by feeling. It feels like about 120K, right? Money is not a real thing. Money is just a proportion. And so I don't know. The real number doesn't matter to me. So yes, you can get through buying a home or buying some sort of real estate in the country. Quite a few countries will give you residency there. I wouldn't do that until you were sure you like it. I wouldn't make that my means of moving to a place, but you could make that your means of staying in a place. Now, rent differs in different places. One thing I do know about Ghana is it's not uncommon for them to require you to pay that full year rent, sometimes 2 years of rent up front. Not uncommon. Here, they asked me for, because I don't have my residency here in Colombia yet, they asked me for, she asked me for 5 months, I think. And I was like, what about 3? And they were like, okay. So I paid 3 months in advance. That included, so, and then she turned around and was like, what about a deposit? And I was like, can't you just use that as a deposit? And they were like, okay. They were real chill about it. The landlord is the owner, it's not a third party. They were real chill. So it varies from place to place. Renting in a place varies. This is why you get in community with people in the place that you're interested in going to, because you don't know what's normal and what's not normal. Here, you don't get a refrigerator in your apartment. Why would you think there's going to be a refrigerator there? You buy your own refrigerator. You sell it when you leave if you want. But why would you expect a refrigerator in your apartment? In Costa Rica, there were often, in my price range, I wasn't even looking at the bargain basement prices. There were often kitchens with no kitchen, no countertops, no cabinets. You do all of that. You might think you're getting ripped off unless you're in community with people in that place who would be like, no, that's normal. That's how things are done here. In Germany, I remember years ago when I wanted to, when I was in the army and I wanted them to move me to Germany, which never happened. I remember that too. You don't get appliances in your kitchen. Definitely not a refrigerator. There might have been a stove, an oven, but no refrigerator. You're responsible for that. So you need to be in community with people who are in that place and know things. Some locals, some people who move there because they know, locals know something and people who move there know something. Together, you got it all, right? You need to be in community with people. Join the Exodus Summit community for Black women who are planning a sabbatical or move abroad. We're at exodussummit.com/community. And surprise, we left Facebook. We're in a new space. We're in a new space now. Facebook was free for us. Facebook is not free anymore. So we now have a $1 fee to join this Exodus Summit community. It's $1 one time, $1. You don't need to pay every month or every year. It's just $1 and you're in. exodussummit.com/community. Yeah, so I see in Germany, we only got a sink in the kitchen. Yeah. You don't know what things are normal and what things are when you're being ripped off unless you're in community with people in that place. It's very, very important. I'm in Facebook groups for people in Bogota. I don't like talk to them or meet with them because they're not Black. I'm not in I can't find a Black Bogota group that's active. But their information is solid, right? Makeda had furniture made in Jamaica. I had furniture made here in Colombia. I had my desk and my dining room table, my TV stand, some good stuff made here. Okay. All right. Anything else that I need to get back to over here? So, yeah, Geraldine, no kitchen in Italy, just the space for it. DIY. You want a kitchen? You better build you a kitchen. So you put it all in there and then you sell it when you leave. Will your Ninja Foodie still work? Yeah. They sell those appliances down here too. Yeah. But you put it all in there. You put your get your cabinets and your countertops. You can buy them new or used. Yeah. Any specific thoughts on Brazil? I've only been to Salvador de Bahia, Brazil. We're probably taking a group trip, not a group trip like that, but we're probably meeting up in Brazil in June of 2026. Probably means 51% chance. Okay. Brazil, reputation for a good cost of living. Colorism abounds in a way that you may not like, especially in Sao Paulo and Rio, probably all over Brazil. I don't know why I named those two cities, but good cost of have reputation for a good cost of living, and that's it. That's all I know. What do I do every day in Colombia? I just be living my life. I go out to the park and walk/run intervals. I sometimes go to a coffee shop for coffee, but most of the time I make my coffee here. In Colombia, even the instant coffee is good. I don't have a coffee maker yet. I've been here since July and I still don't have a coffee maker. So go out to the park and walk/run, make my coffee, come back here, do some work, Exodus Summit stuff, YouTube channel stuff, YouTube challenge stuff, do some work here. I don't have any friends. So the only people I really talk to every day are the security guards downstairs. Please move to Colombia. Please move to Bogota and be my friend. I don't have any friends yet, and I don't have any hobbies yet where I can make friends. There are running communities. So once I can run enough, if I decide that I want to run enough to join a running community, then I think I'll have friends. Yeah, but mostly I just like go down and walk to the grocery. Then I go after I come back from work, from my workout, and I do a little work. Sometimes I walk to the grocery store, walk to a restaurant, walk to the laundry lady who's overcharging. The laundry in this neighborhood is expensive. I paid $13 for a load of laundry, which is too much. They don't even fold it. This laundromat doesn't even fold your laundry. It's the first, I'm in a bougie neighborhood, right? Yeah, go run my errands. I still have to, I pay most of the, if I know how to pay the bill, I have to pay it in person. I go to the grocery store and pay my bills, go to the grocery store and get my groceries. I'm a homebody, but I think this city is suitable for people who like to be out doing things. I like to be in my house. That's what I do. That's my day, right? If I come back from the restaurant from dinner or from the grocery store and I make my dinner and I wash my dishes, then my day is done. I hang out. But I think if I had hobbies, this would be a place where I could exercise those hobbies and meet people and have friends. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Come visit. So, October 4th, there's a meetup here in Bogota in the Exodus Summit community, exodussummit.com/community. There are meetups hosted all over the world. Well, I think there's 5, but we need to get that number up to about 15 or 20 to really call this an international meetup day. So feel free to host a meetup wherever you are. Connie Perry, Mom, would you like to host a meetup in Dover? It would be nice if on October 4th, if we had 15 or 20 meetups happening simultaneously. Right now we have 5. Okay, please. October 4th. But if Bogota is interesting to you and you're able to come down on October 4th, come to the meetup. Okay. No, washers and dryers are common here. In Bogota, washers and dryers, you install it, but there's a space. I only looked at 6 apartments, 8 apartments, something like that, but all of them have a laundry room. They also have what they call a maid's quarters, which is a little bedroom and a bathroom, full bathroom, that doesn't count towards the house count for bathrooms. So my apartment is considered 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. They don't count the half. Okay, my apartment is it's called 4 and 4. Mine is 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, but one of those is a half bathroom. They don't distinguish that as far as I've seen in listings, right? But technically I have 5 bedrooms and 4.5 bathrooms because I have a maid's room, little tiny maid's room, 6 by 4 maybe, room enough for a bed. And then there's a full bathroom back there too with a shower. It's a thing. Okay. St. Louis meetup's happening. Okay, good. Hey, Shantae. Hiking. Oh, hiking groups. Yeah, I haven't seen hiking groups. I go out, so I'm at the foot of the mountains, and so I go up in there sometimes. But I never see people hiking in groups. But I do see running groups. 2 happening in Texas, Dallas, and Houston. The Texas. How you know? Yolanda lives in Spain. Yolanda, how do you know? Okay, Connie Perry says that would be nice. Are you free October 4th? We'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow. Cree Girl, you host one in Guadalajara. Oh, it's your birthday. You host it. Host it and tell everyone it's your birthday. They'll bring you gifts. Ask me how I know. Okay. I hosted a meetup here on my birthday. I got gifts. Okay. Let's see. Anything right here? My lipsticks, right? Got Juvia's Place lipsticks. Oh, I'm wearing them today. As a matter of fact, I have both of these on today. All right. If you don't mind, go ahead and just post it at a place you know you want to go and tell them it's your birthday. They'll bring you gifts. That's how people do. Okay. There's a meetup in New Jersey. Thanks, TJ. New York as well. Okay. Yeah. So it's happening. The International Meetup Day, International Exodus Summit Meetup Day, happening October 4th. If you want to attend one, you may have to be the host, right? But that can just be as simple as meet me here. It can be coffee. It can be ice cream. It can be a sitting in the park. It can be hiking and roller skating or whatever. All you have to do is set it up in the Exodus Summit community, exodussummit.com/community. I'm going to give you a controversial answer to this, Ina. Okay, so Ina's question is, how do people go about continuing mental health therapy while they live abroad? Most of your therapists cannot see you as a therapist if you're not in the state they're licensed in. So once you leave the state, your therapist might drop you, will drop you. Okay. So what do people do? You could find a therapist where you're going, right? You may need to find an English speaking therapist. Okay. But the controversial answer is some therapists also offer coaching. This is controversial in the therapist space. I don't have an opinion on it, but some therapists offer coaching, which they use to get around the state requirement. They're not the same. Tori's here. I know she's typing right now. Okay. Tori, our licensed marriage and family therapist, is typing right now. Okay. And it's controversial, but there are therapists who offer coaching as well to get around that. But the other answer is really just to find a therapist where you are. You may be in a place where you're finding English speaking therapists. You may not be in a place where you're finding English speaking therapists. Yeah. Okay. I did it. Did I do right, Terry? Okay. I mean, Tori, I know. Okay. I know. Oh, look at this. She's working on a directory of therapists you can see abroad. Because, and another thing, therapists in the UK, English therapists and British therapists, I don't think they have that restriction. I'm having lip balm emergencies. Menopause has been pretty good. I'm wearing polyester without death. I'm wearing polyester without dying. I've had this dress for, I don't know. I've never worn, I took the tag off this dress this morning to put it on. I took the tag off this dress this morning because I bought it at H&M years ago and couldn't wear it because I was like, hot flashes and polyester, they don't go together. But I'm fully in menopause now for 2 years, a year and a half. I'm fully in menopause for quite a bit, and I live in a cooler climate. So I'm back to wearing the polyester clothing that I've had for years that I couldn't wear. So that's nice. But I'm also still very dried out. My mouth is so dry. My ears, I don't have dry eye, but my ears and my mouth just stay so dry. So that's a problem. So my chapstick and lip balm addiction Still going strong. I don't know how much longer this is gonna last, but it's still going strong. Okay, Cree girl, set that meetup up, girl. Set it up. Set it up for your birthday. Yeah, in the Heartbeat app. So the meetups usually are being arranged in our app, exodussummit.com/community. You go to the sidebar and find the location, and hopefully there's an event already planned or being planned there, or you can just plan it there. And then once it's organized, you know the date. Well, we all know the date. You know the time, the location. Then you can move it to the events section. You can ask Francis. If you can't, I don't know if y'all can type in the events section. If not, holler at Francis, our admin. It's always chilly here, Makita. The high temperature rarely crosses 70 in Bogota. And if the sun is not out, it feels cooler than when the sun is out. It's always cool here. Bogota is not a warm place ever. It's never warm. It's cool. This is cooler weather, except that 70 here feels different from 70 in other places. Until the sun goes down, then it feels cool. Tori's Black Women Expat Support Group meets today. Wonderful, Tori. All right, friends. Yeah, everything is just, people want you to be okay with getting older. But all the stuff about getting older is just harder life. The harder life things. So did they recommend that you add collagen in a variety of ways? I know there's a lot of things that people are stirring collagen into their beverages, but I also heard that you can't adding it into a hot beverage doesn't work. So yeah, I see people doing that, but I've heard that. Where did I hear that? You can't put it into the heat destroys the collagen. So like we just throw our money down the drain or what? Or maybe do they make heat-proof collagen? Do they make heat-resistant collagen? Yeah. A lot of the ways that we do things, you can apply it topically. That's not helpful. They tell you to add this collagen, whatever. That's not how collagen works, apparently. And then you can't even put it in your hot beverages. It's really temperamental. I've just started eating walnuts. I don't know. I'm just, yeah. I already eat a good amount of avocado, I think. Salmon is one of the only things I'll sit down and I'll make. Salmon is one of the only things I will, if I say I made dinner, I probably had salmon. So I just added walnuts into my diet. But I'm going back to the dermatologist before the summit, because the summit is a whole weekend of looking at my face and I want to look younger. For Exodus Summit, I spend the whole weekend in front of the camera looking at my face from Friday through Monday, and I want to look younger. Oh, I don't know what that's about, Valerina. Maybe we need the help desk. Maybe we need to find the help desk. She didn't say anything about the collagen. Yeah, I guess I need to see my own doctor. I need to get a doctor. I only have a dermatologist and a dentist down here. I need to get a doctor. And see what I can do about that, about these things, about being 50 to 51. Christian James says collagen breaks down at 300 degrees. Collagen powder can work in hot beverages because it won't be that hot. Thank you. Thank you, Christian. How do you know that? Thank you kindly. I do. I feel it. Patty Palmer says, Stephanie, you're so fortunate to get through menopause so early. I'm 60 and my gynecologist says my blood work indicates another couple years before menopause. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I feel that too. Every now and then I'll be like, I'm so glad. Perimenopause, I think I had a good 4 years of, it was hard to tell because I was also in because I was in hot, sweaty places. I don't know when the hot flashes really started, but I think the night sweats and stuff, I had it for maybe 3 years, and not, that's a lot. 3 years of night sweats is a lot, but not all the time. It would be like a couple of days a month. I would have like just soaked through my sheets, night sweats, and really, really horrible, like excessive periods, like unnecessarily excessive. But then one day it was just like, okay, we're done with that. We're done with that. I don't even think it was before my 50th birthday. I think around 49 and change. Just over. And I feel glad. I feel really glad because I wouldn't want to keep going through that. I don't know. I don't know when you would decide to just take the parts out, right? I'm not doing this any longer. I'm not a doctor, okay? This is not medical advice, but I don't know how much of that I could have taken before I've been like, what can you put it all in the trash? What can you take out? How do we stop this? Right? And yeah, just one day, menopause smiled on me. And I don't know, it just flipped a switch, right? No night sweats, no hot flashes, no whatever. I still got a mustache and a beard. But all that other stuff, it just went away. No more periods. It all just went away. And I do feel fortunate because I wouldn't want to be 60 and still, girl. Eve, will I please do another YouTube challenge before the summit? No, but I am doing a YouTube session in the summit. So I told you my house sitting session is going to be pre-recorded. That's because my live session during Exodus Summit 2025 is on using YouTube as your sales team. So if one of those sessions on freelancing, on course creation, on memberships, if one of those sessions sounds interesting and you're like, well, how am I going to find clients for that thing? My YouTube session will be a good partner with one of those. So my session in Exodus Summit 2025 is on using YouTube as your sales and marketing team, right? If you have a thing that you want to get out into the world, YouTube is still the place to do it. And so YouTube does pay, right? I get paid through YouTube, but my session is not on monetization that way because that might take some time. I can't tell you how long it would take you to get monetized. It might take you 6 videos. It might take you 6 years, right? But what I can tell you is how to create the community on YouTube so that when you have something to sell, you have people there who are already interested in it, right? Imagine trying to fill up Exodus Summit, paying these speakers, because we pay good money to our speakers, right? Paying these speakers hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of dollars, right? And not having a way to sell tickets, right? Having nobody interested in registering for the summit because we don't have a YouTube channel. We don't have the community that YouTube has brought. YouTube is underutilized a lot. Most of the women I see who are like, well, I do this thing, but I don't have any clients. I'm like, let me see your YouTube channel. Oh, I've been meaning, I was gonna, that's the problem, right? You haven't created a place where you talk your talk and people can find you. The people who are already interested in you can find you. So in Exodus Summit 2025, my session is on using YouTube as a sales strategy. It's some of what I teach in the challenge, but the challenge is different because you get to meet other women. I absolutely do not have the bandwidth to do it before the summit. Absolutely not. Clarissa and I looked at the calendar and maybe late November, maybe, but maybe not. So I would come to Exodus Summit 2025 if you want to learn YouTube from me. Now, women you can kind of DIY the challenge. Here's what I would do. I would come to Exodus Summit, come to my session. I haven't worn a wrap dress in a while. I forgot how you can't see, you couldn't see that, but I could. What I would do is I would make sure that I was in the Exodus Summit session. And then when we break up into breakout rooms, I would find some accountability buddies there, right? Some other women who went to my session, get some accountability buddies, and y'all kind of DIY what we do in the challenge, work back through what I teach you in the summit together. That's what I recommend, Eve. Okay. Bone broth and oxtails, that's for collagen. I'm a soup girl. I'm a pho girly. I'm having a hard time getting good pho here, though. But I'm a pho girly, and I feel like that is also good for collagen purposes. I love pho. I'll tear it up. I love it. I will eat it for breakfast and dinner. I know it's a breakfast food, but I'm eating it twice. If I have it, I'm eating it all day. Thank you. But I can't find good pho here. I've only tried 3 different restaurants. So I just need to keep trying. There's lots of choices. I just need to keep trying. And I even tried to make it myself. It came out as soup, but not pho. Countries with good healthcare. Any country, okay. Any country or city that has rich people has good healthcare, except for in the United States. So if there's rich people there, there's good healthcare there, right? So any city that you're thinking about going to, you're probably going to get good healthcare. Women in this community really enjoy Latin America for the healthcare, but also like Bogota, good healthcare in Mexico City, good healthcare in even San Jose, Costa Rica, which is not a great city, has good healthcare. Panama City, but it's not the same. I don't think you need to search for good healthcare in other countries. South Korea, like you can name a city in the world. There's great healthcare there. Okay. What I'll say is untie yourself from the idea that Ecuador, like there's any place you want to live. If there are people with money there, they have good healthcare there. It's less about, is the healthcare good? I think that's not a helpful question because the answer is any city you name. Any city you name. I think the question is, if you have a special healthcare need, an illness or a disability, is this a thing that there's good care for there? You know what I'm saying? So less about general good healthcare. The answer is everywhere. Everywhere you go, you're going to get good healthcare. I got good healthcare on a little tiny island in the Philippines. I wouldn't recommend it if you have special healthcare concerns, but you can get good healthcare anywhere, and for a very reasonable price, whether it's out of pocket or you're insured, right? You can be insured in another country. I have insurance here. I don't even have residency here, and I have insurance here. I would look and make sure that there are specialists who deal with your special concern. If you have a special concern. If you don't have a special concern, the answer literally is anywhere. Any city you're thinking about going to. Maybe not a small town, maybe not an island, but if you're thinking about moving to any city, they have good healthcare. You're going to be happy. Just go where the rich people go, right? Go to the bougie private hospitals. You're going to get good healthcare. And you're going to pay pennies on the dollar. All right, friends. Okay. My mouth didn't start hurting at all. I took Erica Cox, are you here? My drug is called Eric Cox, and it made me think of you. I was like, this is Erica Cox. It's an anti-inflammatory down here, um, in the vein of like a Motrin or something. A little, I guess, stronger than a Motrin. What's the stronger anti-inflammatory? Oh no, I forgot my drugs now. Leave the pharmacy for 10 years and all of a sudden you don't know nothing. Feldene. Feldene? I think it's along the lines of a Feldene. Let me look up Feldene. Feldene. Yeah, piroxicam. Yeah, I think this is along the lines of a Feldene because she told me this is a thing that she made sure I understood. Only 1 or 2 a day. Only every 12 or 24 hours. No more, no closer. Of course, the last night I did take it closer. Okay, because listen, I wanted to sleep through the night. I don't want to wake up with my mouth hurting. I did, but she was like, only 1 or 2 a day, and only for 4 days. I'm like, this is an NSAID. Oh, okay. It's a little. There are different levels of anti-inflammatories. This is past Motrin and Aleve. I see Aleve. It's past those. It's in the. I think this must be in the Feldene. We used to warn people like that about Feldene when I worked in the pharmacy. She made sure. Listen, I'm not gonna mess around with you. You're not gonna be coming in here talking about my stomach lining is destroyed because I took this Feldene 8 times a day for 8 days. Oh, I guess Erica Cox isn't here. I just wanted her to know that there's a drug named after her. Maybe she'll see the replay. Yeah, but nothing hurt, so that's good. That's good. I was kind of like, I don't know how I can talk. Can I talk? Especially when I knew I was going to be here by myself. So I'm paying $550 US. Again, I don't, what is the word? I don't shop around with prices. I went to the first dentist Google told me was close. There you are. Do you see my drug name? Oh, it's reversed though. Can you see it? It's Eric Cox, and it made me think of you. Hi. I didn't shop around, but I paid $550 for the Maryland Bridge, and that included the extraction and the X. So the first set of X-rays, I think I paid 12,000 COP. What is that? I did pay $3 for a set of X-rays at the outside X-ray place, but then once I went to her office yesterday, she did another set of X-rays with the little thing. They did the outside X-ray where they go around, that machine goes around you. I paid $3 for that. I didn't pay anything extra for the extraction, and it was included in the Maryland Bridge pricing, which is $550 US. I don't think that's especially good. And she was even like, let me know if you need to work, if we need to work something out. Okay, well, as I said, money is a relative thing. So Lori Butler says $7,000 for 1 extraction and 1 implant in Texas. Okay, she was going to charge me $3,000 for the implant, $3,000, and then the next time she said $2,500. She was converting it to US dollars for me. So for down here, $3,000 for the implant, or $550 for the Maryland Bridge. And the extractions were included. Extraction was included. Oh, okay, Dahlia, everybody, okay. Yeah, girl. Yeah, it was all, whatever. I believe I could have gotten it less expensively if I shopped around. I also believe if I was shopping around, I still wouldn't have it started. I'd still be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I'm gonna go to the first place. As long as they have decent reviews, I'm going to the first place. So Cree Girl says in America, that machine costs $200 or $300 for the X-ray that goes around, the X-ray where you stand, you put your chin on the thing and it goes, really? Okay, this is me, okay. I have insurance, but I don't know how to use my insurance. So I paid out of pocket for this stuff. I don't know if my insurance will reimburse me. I have insurance in Colombia. I have a Colombian insurance, and I don't know. So, oh, shoot. I didn't even get a receipt yesterday. I paid for the extra. I paid the $550 yesterday. Oh, yeah. I'll go back and I'll ask her for the receipt because I have insurance. I just don't know if dental is covered at all. I don't know what in dental is covered, which is a thing I probably should have. I probably should have figured that out before I said no to the implant. The only reason I said no to the implant is I was like, I'm not paying $3,000 for a tooth nobody's gonna see. I was like, just give me the Maryland Bridge, but whatever. After I pay for it, then I'll check with my insurance lady. I have a lady. I'll check with her and see if I can get reimbursed. Okay, in Jamaica, $95 for that panoramic x-ray. Natalie paid it last month. Hi, Natalie. Okay, Geraldine, Maryland Bridge, average cost $1,000 per tooth. Okay, so I'm making out even without being a budget bargain shopper, even without looking around. I didn't even go to the group. I didn't even go to the Facebook group and go, anybody have a dentist you recommend? I just went straight to Google, found the closest one, and her reviews were good. Whatever. So, okay, so it works out. It works out. It's not bargain basement priced. I don't feel like $550 for a bridge is cheap, but I guess it could have been worse. So I feel good about that. It could have been worse. Could have been worse. Friends, one last time, let me drop a couple of links in the chat. Let's see. We talked a little bit about house sitting and about my house sitting in my house sitting session in Exodus Summit. So let me drop the link to my new house sitter toolkit, housesit.vicarious.com/toolkit. Okay. House sitting can be a way, if you need to do some liberation work and you need some liberation time with some liberation rent prices. House sitting is amazing. I love when I hear Black women say, oh, I'm house sitting. It's amazing. It's not reparations, but you can treat house sitting like reparations. You can stay in a beautiful home paying $0. Now, most house sits are pet sits. You have to be a friend to animals to really get the best of house sitting. But H&D Abroad, she be house sitting without pet sits. She finds house sits that are not pet sits. So it's possible. House sitting, recommend it. I love it. I still do it. I have not house sat in Colombia yet at all, but I have my alert set. Even though I'm paying rent, I have my alert set to find some good house sits. I think that's how I'll get to see some other parts of Colombia, right? Book a house sit, go see some other places, go travel. So that's that in Colombia. I mean, that's my house sitting link. We talked about the Exodus Summit community. We've left Facebook. That's exodussummit.com/community. It's a $1 community, $1 one time. The women in that community are planning international Exodus Summit meetup days all around the world. Hopefully, please, all around the world. I'd appreciate that, okay? October 4th. So this is where you can meet some people who are into what you're into, and who don't think this is bonkers, banana crazy, okay? Who think this is a good idea and realistic and want to walk alongside you. So join us in the Exodus Summit community. Hi, friends. Hey, Francine. And then Exodus Summit, the actual Exodus Summit is happening October 10th through 13th. It's all online, and tickets are at exodussummit.com. Weekend pass. If you don't know which ticket to get the weekend pass, okay? And then decide from there if you want to upgrade, if you want to come to the additional bonus workshop, which we're announcing soon. Well, I kind of announced it. Or if you want the longer replays, or if you want to come to the breakout rooms and salons, exodussummit.com is where you get your ticket. It's okay to start with the weekend pass and then upgrade later. I want to make sure I give you the links to the things that we've talked about today, okay? And then I talked about our video, Countries for Black Families in 2025. That's on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel. I'll drop that in the description later. Okay. Oh, Mo, I can't wait. Mo and I are going to talk. I believe we talked this week. Mo, Rashida, and I are going to talk this week because, spoiler alert, I don't know. Can I say it? Can I tell him, Mo? Since you're here, can I tell him what's about to happen in Exodus Summit 2025? I'm gonna wait. If you say don't say it yet, I'm not gonna say it yet. But if you say it's okay to say it, I'm going to say it. And Rashida's not here, so she can't stop me. Okay. Friends, Mo the Goddess TV is doing a session in Exodus Summit 2025 on OnlyFans. We have an OnlyFans section. We're doing Exodus After Dark. And our session on OnlyFans is here. Okay. Mo is doing a session. I don't know if you can tell how excited I am. Okay. She said, tell them they want it. You want it. Okay. Okay. Super excited. Don't tell Rashida I told y'all. Okay. I don't think she's here. Okay. OnlyFans. We just talked about house sitting not being reparations. Another thing that's not reparations is OnlyFans, but also it is. Get men's money. I think is should be if they can take our jobs, we should be able to take their money. Maybe that's not Mo's approach to OnlyFans. Let me take her off the screen because this is my opinion. This is not necessarily her opinion. She's much more professional and, all of that. Okay. She's much more professional and businessy. Okay. But I believe in evening things out. Let's even things out a little bit. Okay. Get the money. I'm super excited. I guess I should have said, let's do this in a more professional way. Exodus Summit 2025. Mo is doing a session on OnlyFans. Very excited. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I have my own reasons for being excited about this session. But that's not necessarily Mo's approach to things. We'll find out. We talk later this week, so I'm very excited. And next time I talk to you about this session, I'll be able to do it in more aligned with what Mo would want me to say. Okay. How about that? Okay. Next time I'll do it in a more aligned way. Okay. She says, I love how you did it. Listen, get yours. Thank you. Okay. I'm very excited. We're excited about this session. Money is just an exchange, right? There are people who are willing to exchange money with you for various things. People exchange money with me to teach them how to be a house sitter, right? OnlyFans is a place where people go and say, I will exchange money with you, and you set the parameters. And the money on OnlyFans is good money, okay? It's good money. If you're thinking about, if I mentioned some other things earlier and you're like, but I don't know if I can make enough money to live off that, start this session on your calendar. Well, it's not even on the summit page yet, okay? This is how premature this announcement is. Not even on our summit page yet. But when it shows up, star it, okay? Star it. Even things out, okay? White men took 350,000 jobs from Black women so far this year. And that announcement was made like in July. Okay, let's even things out. Okay. All right, friends. And then I see someone saying Connie Perry reminded us. So what is Connie Perry? What was the reminder from my mom? I missed it. I can't scroll back all that far in StreamYard. It's not like where I could search for things. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're super excited. There's money in Exodus Summit 2025. There's money for Black women in Exodus Summit 2025. Our speakers are Black women who love to help Black women get money. That is like our main criteria. Are you making money doing the thing that you're going to teach? And do you like to help Black women make money doing the thing that you're going to teach? Okay. That's like how things work. And can you teach this in a way that other people can pick it up and start, right? Can you teach this in a way that we can go out and make some money? Okay, that's it. Sorry, Mom, I didn't see your message, but I do see people replying to your message. But all right, we'll talk tomorrow. So there may be a Dover, Delaware meetup on October 4th as well. Get into the Exodus Summit community, exodussummit.com/community. Okay, friends? Okay. Now we're going to go. Have a wonderful Saturday. Get your ticket to Exodus Summit 2025 if any of the sessions that I talked about are interesting, or if any of the sessions you see on the site are interesting, because I didn't mention them all. Okay? Have a wonderful weekend. And tomorrow, 10 years ago tomorrow, I hopped on that plane. My mom drove me I think she drove me to the train station, and I took the train up to New York, hopped on that train, and got off in Tokyo on my way to, it was my layover. I had a whole day layover in Tokyo on my way to Kuala Lumpur. 10 years ago tomorrow. It's been amazing. If I had realized that earlier, my calendar would look a little different. We'll talk about it later in the week, though. 10 years ago, life has really changed for me. I hope that you leave the United States so life can really change for you too. We can help you with that. Okay? We can help you. I'm letting y'all say goodbye. Thank you. I like it when y'all do that. Okay. I don't know. I don't usually put them on the screen as fast, but I really like it when you take your time to say goodbye to us. I like a little hi and a little bye. Thank you for the happy anniversaries. Yeah, come on, 200,000. Please share my channel, please. Okay. Connie Perry would really like this channel to have 200,000 subscribers. Can y'all help me with that? Thank you. Thank you all. Okay, have a wonderful weekend, friends. Thanks for hanging out this Saturday. Thanks for letting me be my judgmental, know-it-all self. But also thank you for treating everyone in this community with loving kindness. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. Have a wonderful day. Hasta luego.